Okay, well, I know it's a little bit late. It's been about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks since the start of 2019. But this is the first video I've done for the year. So, as such, I will now say, Happy New Year! Hello gamers, welcome back to Minecraft, and this is episode 6 of the dbGaming server. Now, the last video I did was completing the blaze spawner, so I didn't class that as episode 6 because it was finishing off a task that was left unfinished. It was also a request, so it was just a little injection I've put in there. This today is going to be episode 6. You can see here I've made a couple of changes. I've brought the chickens down to floor level rather than being raised up on their own little platform. And a little bit of a... just so that people don't go abusing my hospitality with some of the farming and so forth. You'll actually notice here, these chests are empty now. They're not going to be empty for a huge amount of time as all of the process... Excuse me while I deal with this slime. I think he's down underneath, which I'll get to, because you'll see here that this is decked out, ready to go. I just need some melon seeds, and then I'll have the melon farm bit going there. But yes, you know that I've been collecting lots and lots of pumpkins. There's one that didn't misfired. That happens from time to time. Can't avoid it. But yes, you'll see that's empty. That's empty. And obviously the chickens, not exactly accessible. That's because I've set up a little cellar, so to speak, for all of these items. So the idea being, once I get enough of a surplus that they are stacking up in those chests, well, people can help themselves, and I know I've still got plenty to go when I need it. Because down here, out the back here, I've now created this little room here, and here is where you can see here very close to, once all of that's filled up, the chest up the top will start filling up. This here is where all my pumpkins are going. This is where the melons will go once they're done. And then here are my eggs. Unfortunately, I can't make the eggs publicly available. If people want eggs from me, they can come and ask, I guess. For now, if anyone comes into my base now, they can't get down into the cellar area, but they're welcome to help themselves to whatever has appeared in the top area here, knowing that I have a full, if there's anything in here, that means I have a full chest and a full hopper's worth down below. Not much has changed over this way. I've kind of been digging it out a little bit. You'll see there I fixed the chair thing. Slater will be happy about that. Of course, I keep doing it by mistake. Couple more turtles there. I do want to do some more turtle breeding at some stage and make that helmet. But the idea there is apparently you've got to watch and wait for the babies to grow up, and that's when you get the item that you use to make the turtle shell helmet. So, on the agenda today, I want to finish these domes, these corners. And as I've said in the previous video, in order to do that, I'm going to fill in the glass and all of that around the back edges. But all of this I've been filling in with sand, digging back out, blah, 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 just trying to make it all air. What I'm going to do over there, though, is I'm going to do some sponges just to make it a lot quicker. Noticing here, I've got some torches up on there. I don't know whether I might, because that's awful dark. just to light the place up a bit. I might actually put a few more torches around, but there's still a few things I haven't decided when it comes to the main structure bars of the dome. I'm thinking of putting some stuff underneath there, stop some of this dripping effect, and just add a little bit more texture. But today, in order to do the sponges to finish this area, I have to invade a ocean monument. So that's the agenda for today, is to do the ocean monument thing. Part of that, I'm going to need a lot of cobblestone to get started. So I'm going to basically need a lot of cobblestone, a lot of sand, and a cow. You'll notice here, I got a heart of the sea. I found that in a sunk, one of the buried treasures, I think it was. So I believe that's one of the starts to making a conduit. That may make breathing around the area around the dome a little easier when swimming around. Okay, so I've grabbed a whole bunch of cobblestone. I will need to get a bunch of sand as well, but I'm thinking I'll get that along the way. Is it day or is it night time right now? It's night time. All my boats seem to have disappeared. Now, here's an interesting thing I've noticed. I think it's because of the magma blocks down the bottom here, in here. You'll see that there's all these just fish just lying about. The fish swimming around hit the magma block and perish, and then they just float back up to the top here. They're not cooked by the magma block, they're just killed by it. I was sure I had boats up here. I think I'm going to need to chop down a tree and make a boat. The one monument I was looking at, I think there was a lot of sand around there, so I'm going to make use of that. Right, we have us a boat. And I believe the monument was this way.
So while we're on our way, I figure I might have a little bit of a chat. I haven't talked a lot about the whole diabetes situation lately. Things have been up and down quite a bit there. At this stage, I'm pretty much off the insulin. I tried a bit of an experiment actually, because I was noticing I was hyperglycemic all the time. And so I did a test and I just stopped taking everything to see how long it would take until the levels got too high and needed to be addressed again. And it pretty much took a week for me to get up to my blood levels around the 8s. So then I started taking the tablets again and doing a bit of just, in emergency situations, just to take the edge off, I would take the insulin again. But I had a doctor's appointment recently, and the doctor has now officially said I no longer need to take the insulin, but obviously I'm going to keep it on hand just as a backup in case it's needed if I ever have any major spikes. The other interesting factor that has come up, because I've had a bit of a chat with the family, and it does turn out that there is history in our family. So maybe not that rare occasion of, oh, no history. The whole glasses thing is a real pain too. I don't know if I've talked too much about it, but this is something just for other people to keep in mind. Even if you're having trouble seeing, don't rush into getting expensive glasses.
There's a sand island there, I can use those. That's the monument. Right, so what I might do, I'm going to just, this tiny little island here, I'm just going to lop it down. Probably sandstone core.
As I was saying about the glasses, I rushed into a pretty expensive pair of glasses, and I really regret rushing into it now because my eyes have adjusted and the glasses aren't as useful. But by all means, get some cheap ones so you can see for the time being. Just don't lay out on some expensive ones because your eyes could adjust and render them useless.
Hopefully that'll be enough sand for what we need for now. I really don't need that yet. I'm going to need, before I even get to that point, I'm going to need the cow and I'm going to need a bucket. So the idea is that I'm going to be leading a cobblestone bridge across to the monument and build up around it so that we create a bit of a air access into the chamber. And then, actually, that'd be an awesome place to put a conduit. That's where I'm going to put my conduit. Yeah, that'll work really well, because that means I can swim around in there, not worrying about breathing, taking out guardians. The idea is I'm going to take out, to some degree, the top layer of water inside the monument, so that you can kind of jump into a pool area. This is based on what we ended up doing in the 1.12 server. We took out the top layer of the monument, made it air, didn't take the whole thing off. We just basically hollowed out, took out all the water in the top section, and then we could swim around in the bottom section, killing all the guardians to collect their loot. So I'm going to do the same thing here, but I was using underwater breathing potions to be able to swim around and get them all. Having a conduit there is going to be awesome, because we're not going to have to worry about breathing at all. Then we just swim around and not worry about it. So I've got to work out where my bridge is going to line up with. Pretty much with here. So what I need to do is, of course, I need to make another crafting table. I'm not thinking ahead very well. But I need to make myself a little bit of a base here. I wonder if there's any sheep around here. Because I think this is just a tiny little island. I don't think there's really much to find here. If I could find a sheep to make a bed, that would be epic. If I can find a cow. Now, I don't know if I mentioned before, the cow. Oh, there is a sheep. Awesome. That makes my day. If there was a cow here, that would be just so awesome. The idea is that I make a bucket to collect the milk from the cow, and by bringing the cow with me every time I get mining fatigue from the guardian elders, I just drink a bucket of milk from the cow and it resets it. So rather than taking a whole bunch of buckets with me, I just bring a cow. Now I'm definitely needing the bed because I'm going to be spending a bit of time out here when it gets to night. I want to be able to sleep. That's a bit of a weird formation. What I'll do is this little spot here, I'm going to dig that up. And that's going to become my starting base of operations. So, what I now need to do is start thinking about just putting up a basic building. Nothing too fancy. That will probably do for now. Bring it to morning. So I need to line this up. And what I need to do is I'm going to lay out a whole bunch of these, because this is going to triple or double or whatever. So the idea is that I'm going to put these down immediately above the water. Don't need the shears right now. So immediately above the water. So the big question is, do I want to do it one wide or two wide, or I want to obviously layer it up. I'm going to do it similar to the nether bridges and just layer it up so that you don't fall off the edges, but also so that you're protected from the beams of the guardians. Now, I'm surprised I haven't had anything go at me yet. This may be a dead monument. There's nothing... Oh, there it is. Okay, there's definitely elders in there. But I'm not seeing any guardians around the top. There's no guardians spawning now. I'm taking it extremely dangerously, really. Because if they do spawn and start shooting at me, there's one. They're starting to spawn. I am getting ready to bail really quickly if they start shooting at me. Those lasers take a fair bit of damage. I still look like, yeah, I'm definitely on the right path there. I think that was the elder guardian making that noise then. I know that the drowns tend to not go after you unless you're in the water. I wonder if they've somehow changed the mechanic of the Guardians as well, that because I'm not technically in the water, they're ignoring me. It's possible. I do want to start seeing some more of these guys spawning. There's not a lot of them in here. There's one. I see one over there. But that section down there, the little entranceway thing, that should be absolutely overloaded with them. Where's the likely candidate spot for a cow? And I'm really not thinking ahead because I'm going to need a lead. Okay, so I'm going to need to go back to base and I'll be back. So now I'm just going to see on the way if I can't... Oh, right there. Perfect. You are coming with me. All right, we have a cow. Okay, we are back. It's going to be a little bit tricky. I hope he doesn't fall in. I've got my post right here. Let's hope he doesn't fall in there. Be a good little cow, alright? Yeah? You're nodding at me. I hope that means you understand. I have my doubts. Right now, what I need to do is just place around just enough cobblestone to start making a pillar down. Now, that was extra that I really didn't need to do. Right, the next bit is to go get sand. Okay. Sand at the ready. Okay, so now... Oh, I can de-fatigue myself. And this is where having the cow becomes apparent. Because you'll see how often I get hit with that mining. Like I said, that happens all the time. These are the annoying bits when he does that. But once we kill one or two Elder Guardians, that gets easier. That was the Elder Guardian, I'm sure of it. Yep. Most definitely. I think it's time to bite the bullet and start cobblestoning. Oh. Nah, this is where I'm screwed. Let's hope I can dig it up in the time between it wearing off and being re-hit. If this doesn't actually take it out. But this is why you don't want to persevere with the mining fatigue. You'd never get through anything doing that. But no, I'm totally, really disappointed in the spawning here. Wonder if it's this particular monument? Or it's what the monuments are doing at the moment. I know there is another monument. Pretty sure it's down around that way, around that island area on the other side. I might go for a wander and just see how different it is over there. Now the big question is, was it just these little islands? Was that as far as I need to go? Or was it that big island over there? I just vaguely remember it being this way. I hope it is. Oh, there we go. Look at this one. See, this one's got them teaming everywhere. This is what I'm looking for. I know I'm going to have to start all over, but this is what I'm looking for. Look at them all. So we're just going to go straight out from here. I don't know what's more effort, going all the way to the ground there, or just setting up a base and lifting it up in here. Means I'm going to have to bring... At least I've got the cow. I just have to go and get him. Although he's down in that bottom bit now. It may simply be easier to get another cow. I can't believe that I didn't actually bring enough arrows with me. Sheep! And lots of cows. So in the end, all the cows I need were right here. Now what I'm going to do this time around is I'm going to make the whole thing. I'm just going to start on that edge. Okay, well, with much perseverance, I have managed to clear out this area. I'm now at the water layer of the monument. Down in here is inside the monument. So, firstly, remove my fatigue effect. And we have dug in. There's our first objective. That was him. Here he comes. He's getting down here. We're getting hurt by his thorns. I was able to beat him. I think I got a sponge from that. I did. I got a wet sponge. Now I can go down here with this. They did a pretty decent job of it. Oh, that's right. No, I've got to dry it out. In many respects, I think it's probably just as quick in the long run to do it with the sand method. This has taken a while with the whole drying it out going again. Sure, it does a big whop at a time. but I honestly think we would get that much with the sand anyway. Obviously quite a big project to deal with, but I'm sure once I find one of those caverns that's filled with sponges, that'll make things much more useful in being able to clear everything out, and for that matter being able to take it back to the base and finish off the areas on the dome. Okay, I have now carved out this monument. You can see here, this is the, I think this bit here is what they call the penthouse suite section. Cows down here, and I've basically dug it right down. I've opened it right up. As a part of searching, you can see here, I've even opened up all the walls and so forth. I take it down the next level, opened up all these walls. This middle bit I haven't, because in behind there is what they call the treasure room. And I kind of want to leave that because there's a lot of spawning and stuff goes on in there. I still left this bit water. There's the treasure room there. And you can still see there's a few guys still spawning in there and whatnot. All the elders have been removed. And so this will now be converted into a harvesting like a mob farm. For getting prismarine shards and so forth, for making prismarine items. And for sea lanterns and stuff, you basically need the guardians for making sea lanterns. So this will be a farm for doing that purpose. I will be working on that along the way. But I had to open it up just to make sure, because it gets really confusing in there trying to work out which room's which. Didn't find a single sea sponge. Sea sponge rooms, the only thing I got was the 3 sea sponges from the elders. So, as such, I decided to go back to the other temple. So, as we discovered the first time around, at this monument, you'll see I've still left, this is the same, what they call the penthouse suite. You can see it's still underwater. I didn't do as much clearing out on this one, but what I decided to do is go to the corners and check out what was in there. And you can already see here, straight away, I came in here and look what I found. There's one room there. Now I'm just going to quickly get up before I drown. Get some more air back. And in this corner, you can see where I've been digging away. There's a little bit left, but I've pretty much cleared out this one of the sea sponge. The elders are still in place here, hence you'll see in the corner, I'm still getting mining fatigue here. I don't have a bucket with me right now. I must have dropped that, put that aside somewhere during my travels. So I can't collect that sponge right now, but I just wanted to show that after going through one whole temple, if you go through and you look for a sponge room because you want to collect sponges, it is possible to have a whole temple without a single sponge room. But then go find another one, you got more chance of sponges. We've actually got a guardian there, because I did notice that a definite factor, this temple definitely does not produce as many guardians as the other one. So the other one's still definitely the way to go for the farming process for collecting prismarine. Interesting that we have started to see a little bit of spawning here. And I'm not gonna... Well, I'm gonna get out of here before I drown. It may have changed after a couple of reboots, some updates to the server, core, things like that. Because I've updated the actual Spigot build to a new minor update. There's been a few changes as a result. It is possible it's changed some of the spawning, but you will notice here, if you come out here and look around, there's not a lot going on. That's the main chamber there. Now, that's... Oh no, that's just fish swimming around. I thought there was something new there that I'd never seen before. There was one guardian there a moment ago. Oh yeah, there's some floating around in there. But definitely... Whoa! There was one just trying to hit me. I've got enough health at the moment that that's not a big threat. So it looks like there's a few more spawning here now, but definitely not as much as the other chamber. The other one's definitely going to be my mob farm. But this one was worth coming back to because this one has the sponge rooms in it. So I've been able to collect the sponges, which will allow me to easily finish off the last sections, the last little quarters. There's the mining fatigue coming back. The last quarters of the dome. And that was the objective. For the time being, the Prismarine was a secondary, the Prismarine farming. The primary objective was to get those sponge rooms and get some sponges happening to finish the dome. The other thing, which you would have noticed, if we go back to the other farm. Okay, so back at this temple here. Go back down, and the obvious thing you would have probably noticed before I left is the nether portal. So I've linked it up into our little nether hub system. Interestingly enough, when we go through, you'll see here that it's actually appeared right above the blaze spawner. One of the things I've been trying to do, you'll see there, is put some glowstone in here. Try and light it up, because I want to try and prevent some of the wild blaze from spawning in the distance. We'll head back home now to the base, and I'll look at getting some more of the sponge from that place, but I've already collected up quite a number. So I'll be able to dry out a whole bunch with like a single charcoal or the kelp block. And I'll be able to use them just to clear out a whole bunch of water really quickly, then dry it out a whole bunch again. You saw earlier in the video, it was a bit slow with just one or two sponges, but when you've got a bunch of them, it becomes a lot quicker. Interestingly enough, I'm noticing the residence messages don't seem to be showing up. I don't know what that is. I'll look into it, why the residence messages don't appear when you enter and leave the residence. But for now, that doesn't really concern me. It's something I'll follow up later. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for some more videos. Hopefully we'll see this dome finished off, either finishing it off in the next video or see it actually completed. And then we can move on to some more adventures. You see a slime has spawned over there. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you next time.